Hey everyone! Hello Classy Career Girl Network. It's Anna Runyon here to answer any of your questions about video 2 of our Get Unstuck workshop. So thank you everyone for all your wonderful comments below the video. Video 1 has so many comments. I've been going in there trying to answer you guys. I got some questions out of those comments too that I'll be answering today. And video 2 went live yesterday. So video 1 is basically all about the opportunity that's available for you. We went through the 3 hiring trends. So if you're job searching, you definitely want to watch that video. And we also went through my formula, my socially hired formula to help you use social media to find your dream job. Video 2 that was just released yesterday, we went over my 7-step Get Unstuck formula. And this system is what I've been teaching for 7 years. I literally started my business teaching the Get Unstuck system, and I've just been teaching it over and over again and improving it. And I had this, like, a month ago, I was in Minnesota and I had this light bulb that I needed to go back to where I started. I needed to go back and just teach this same simple system that I started with, because it works. It totally works. So I hope you guys have enjoyed that on video 2. If you haven't watched it yet, definitely go check that out, as well as download the formula, download the system, the PDF. I saw someone say that they uploaded it or they put it on their wall. So that's very, very cool. First of all, I do want to say, if you are in Florida, I don't know if if you're in Florida, you probably could care less about what's going on here and me right now. But we just want to say our thoughts and prayers are with you guys. There's if you don't know, there's a big hurricane headed towards Florida. I have a lot of connections there. We have my mastermind partners there. I want someone on our team. Natalie is there. So just wanted to throw that out there to you guys and let you know we're thinking of you guys, and let us know if we can help you guys with anything. So let's move on. So here are the questions that have come in. Now, if you guys have any questions while you're listening, obviously I had some questions that came in beforehand, and this is what I do here. I review them live with you guys. So if you have any questions, feel free to comment. I'd love to see who is with us today. It's a Saturday, so I was hoping we'd have some more people here, because you don't have to work, right? So that'll be fun. So let me know who you are, where you're from, and let us know if you've watched the videos, if you've had any big takeaways or big light bulbs or anything from the videos. I do want to say that video 3 will be coming out on Tuesday, of the workshop. So make sure you carve out that time to watch video 1 and video 2. I know a lot of you guys watch video 1. Video 2 is even better. And so I know a lot of you have watched video 1, but you haven't had time to watch video 2 yet. And I would just really, really encourage you to watch it. You can, I was listening to a video right before this. I was just listening to it while I got ready. So maybe there's a way where you can just turn it. You don't have to watch it, although I put so much time and effort into creating the video and putting all these pretty videos and pictures in with it. But I will understand if you don't want to watch it and you just want to, listen to it, as long as you get the content. So that's my goal for you, is just to get that content in. Okay, so I want to make sure that we're working here. Yes, it is working here on Facebook. We have Teresa's with us. Hey, Teresa. Jen. Hey, Jen. John's with us. Awesome. Okay. John is at ballet with my daughter, and he's with us too. So doing 2 things at once. I love it. Okay, let's not have that talk. Okay. So I think we're ready. Let's get to your questions. If you have any questions, just let us know in the comments, whether you're listening to this on Zoom or whether you are listening to this on Facebook. Okay. The first question came in from Jasmine. She says, "Hi ladies, just finished watching video number 2 and ready to start this 7-step process of the Get Unstuck Roadmap. Awesome, I love it. Any suggestions on a StrengthsFinder Assessment tool that I can use that is free and reliable online?" Okay, so this question has come up a lot about, because you all know in the video, I recommended the StrengthsFinder Assessment because it has helped me so much in my career. It's what we use in Love Your Career Formula for all of our clients and students of Love Your Career Formula. So this question's come up a lot of how can how can I take a free assessment? How can I take the StrengthsFinder for free? And I will tell you, I don't know. I have never seen a free assessment. Maybe there's one out there, but the one that we always use, we partner up with an actual strengths coach who is a Gallup certified strengths coach. So she goes into all companies and teaches this to like entire teams. And her name is Becky, and that's who we've partnered to provide the assessment. So I included this link right below. It's $24. I think it includes, we're not affiliates, or we get no money from this whatsoever. She's just a great friend. She's one of my mastermind partners, and she knows her stuff. And she's personally helped me a lot use my strengths more in my career and figure out how I can have my ideal work day using my top 5 strengths. So the link is right there. She has like a little, I think she has the ebook of the strengths book that she provides, as well as like every week she'll send you an email that gives you a little bit more details about your strengths. So it's definitely not required. You can definitely wait on this and wait and watch the whole workshop and do some thinking about this. You don't need to jump into this right today. But I just wanted to provide that for you because that question has come up a lot. And other people, thank you everyone for jumping in. If you have done any sort of free assessment online, please post that. Like, I am all for free. If you guys know me at all, I'm all for, affordability and not spending a ton of money. I think $24 is definitely worth it. But if you have other options, if you've taken stuff online, like, definitely feel free to post that. Nina says, I'm not sure which social media platform to use for my career transition. LinkedIn and Facebook are the 2 I use today, but I would like to understand pros and cons for each. So this is a great question. So I was hoping we would get to talk about social media because it's one of my favorite topics. Okay, so LinkedIn. So let's talk about LinkedIn. LinkedIn, one of the pros with LinkedIn is that there are recruiters and hiring managers there. They are all on LinkedIn. So if you want to work with any sort of recruiter or hiring manager for a company, you can find them. You can message people in companies you want to work for. You can follow companies. It's great to find people for informational interviews as well. You can apply to jobs with your LinkedIn profile. You can get recommendations from others. You can see other people's connections and get introduced, which is really neat as well. So LinkedIn is probably, if you're job searching, my number 1 choice. 90% of recruiters look at LinkedIn to find you and pull you up on LinkedIn. Now, there's definitely some cons. Cons are that the groups are not as active as Facebook groups. So if you are trying to get more of like a non-traditional job, you probably want to get more active in Facebook groups. That's where a lot of people are making connections in Facebook groups these days. In the comment section, not like posting updates, but like finding people who have companies that you want to work for. They're posting in Facebook groups. That's how I found one of our interns, Raven, our Pinterest intern. She was posting in our Facebook group, and I noticed that she was looking for a social media opportunity, and we started engaging about what she was looking for. So I don't post any job descriptions. Actually I did. I take that back. I did post something. But most of the time but it wasn't like a monster Indeed. Like most of the time I'm finding people in my communities already, and in Facebook groups or on social media. Like Ida on our team, she was like commenting and tweeting me, and like I knew who she was before she even before she even got an internship at Classy Career Girl, because she was like so active just on social media. I knew who she was. So Facebook groups are way more active. They're way more engaging. They're a great place to find people more in like the creative field, or there's a lot of industries that are just not on LinkedIn. So you have to figure out the type of work that you want. Is that type of work on LinkedIn? Is your ideal company, the company you really want to work for, is it on LinkedIn? If they're not, do they have a company profile? If they don't have a company profile, it's not looked at as a social media platform that they're really using that much. I know when I said this on the last time, when I was in the government, I was like the only one that had a LinkedIn profile when I had my consulting job for the military, because the things we were doing were so top secret and secure. Like, you couldn't really say much on social media. You couldn't really say much on your LinkedIn profile. So not many people in that industry, you know, government consulting, were on LinkedIn. So that would not have been a good place for me to find a job. So you just have to kind of know where your industry is at, and that's how you figure out where you should start, what platform you should start. Most companies have a Facebook page, and if they, look on Facebook to see if your dream company has a Facebook page. If they have a Facebook page, then you can start utilizing, that page for some of your job search. But if they don't even have a Facebook page, then, and a lot of companies don't. A lot of companies need that help. If you are in social media or want to do social media, like, that's a huge opportunity right now, because the digital world is growing so much and companies are trying to figure it all out. So that kind of leads into the next question from Lisette. She says, how do you recommend, I'll make this a little bit bigger. I hope you guys can see it. Okay, she says, how do you recommend college students use Instagram to reach out to companies that they want to align themselves with? So my answer is going to apply to college students. If you've been in your career for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, like, it doesn't matter. You can use Instagram to find a job. So how does anyone use Instagram to reach out to companies that they want to align themselves with? The person who reads this message will most likely be entry level and a community manager. What questions should they ask, or who should they ask for? Okay. You guys know I'm like a writer, so I like love to write my answers here. So I hope you enjoy, like, you can see the outline. So up here I've like linked to this outline as well. So if you just want to read my answers, this is kind of how we've transitioned to doing it in our membership sites, because for our Ask Anna sessions, because a lot of people can't make these live sessions, and then two, some people didn't want to like listen to, like, if they missed the live session, they'd have to like listen to like 45 minutes before I got to my answer for them. So hopefully this helps the people who ask questions. They can get their, like, speed forward and get their questions answered. Okay, so my answer for Lisette: you never know who is reading those messages. I wouldn't assume that they're entry level. I'm reading all of our messages right now, even though we have a social media coordinator who puts the publish button on all our Instagram messages. I'm still reading she's pushing the publish button on all of our Instagram posts and some of our stories, but I am reading all of the messages. So you don't know who the person is that's reading your messages. Sorry, guys. So the most important thing before engaging is to comment and like and become known for supporting the company online and on social media. So if you do that, when you reach out to the company, they already know who you are. And it's much easier whatever you say or you ask in your direct message. So to me, like, the question, I've kind of, from your question, Lisette, it already sounds like you're trying to get something, you're trying to ask for something, or your college students are trying to get something. So to me, it's like completely changing the mindset. It's not about starting with asking anything. It starts with supporting and helping. It's not what they can do for you, it's what you can do for them. And most of the people that work for us, almost all of the people that work for us, started by helping and supporting, until I realized, we want them on the team. And so they offered to help first. And then it's like, oh, obviously you're on our team. Like, you're awesome. We love you, So no one just came out and asked for a job or internship that's on our team right now. People have done that, but they're not getting a job or internship. I'm not just like handing out jobs or internships to people who have never engaged with me before. So this is very clear. I mean, there's two people on our team right now that I can think completely did this, Ida and Raven, who were on social media, just supporting us, liking, commenting on our Facebook groups, supporting other people. Like, I knew who they were. So when it did come to a time for them to ask, or they weren't asking, they were just supporting and helping. Like Ida, still today, she's like, what can I do to help? What do you need? What do you need for help? And Raven, let me know if you need help with anything else. Like, I can't even tell you how much that means to a company or a CEO or any person in the company. Like, asking to help and support them is the best route than like asking for a job or an internship. It's just not going to happen. So once they've started supporting that brand on Instagram for a while, they're liking, they're commenting, they're interacting with them in the profile and the comments. Brands are engaging with people. Like, this is a conversation in the comments, and then it can be a conversation in the DM and the direct message as well, reaching out to them, asking how you can help, telling them you love what they're doing, complimenting them. Oh, like, I saw your product at Target. It's amazing. Like, it's so awesome. Like, maybe you sharing their stuff. Like Ida was great at this. We had webinars coming up, and she would just share the webinars on her personal profile. And it was like so clear that she was passionate about what we did and what our mission, that she's willing to share it on her personal profile. Same with Jen. Like, Jen on our team has been sharing the workshop on her personal profile. It's like that kind of stuff you see and you realize. And if they're doing that and supporting you, they're going to be the first person you think of when you need help. And trust me, as startups, as business owners, as leaders, we need help. Like, our number one mission is like to grow, but we can't do that alone. And that's definitely something I've realized over the last year. So like, people are looking. It might just not be advertised. And that's this whole, if I've made anything clear, or if I've tried to communicate anything over these last few workshop videos, it's that it's a different market. It's a different time to be job searching, and things are just not advertised. I mean, opportunities can be created, right? Like, when you find the right person, and this just happened, it's fun now to teach this stuff because I have like real life examples of now hiring people on our team. Like, I hired Jen as something completely different 3 months ago than what she's doing today. I mean, now she's our community manager for Love Your Career Formula. 3 months ago, that is not what I hired her for, but she just started, right? She just got her foot in the door, and then like blew us away, right? So then other opportunities are available once like, I never would have thought that community manager position would be available. It definitely did not have a job description anywhere, so that's what's happening in the mind of CEOs and people who are leading companies right now, is that positions can be created for those right people and the right opportunity, and they're always looking to delegate and to give away some work so that they can focus on the other stuff in their company. So I hope that helps, Lisette. Okay, Teresa, I think Teresa's with us. Hey, Teresa. Another good question. What would be a good area to try and get a job in so I could work here at home? I'm always proofreading other people's work, it seems. Okay. So if you're proofreading other people's work, editing is definitely a great job right now. You can be a freelancer. You could, the two sites I was thinking of first, which I'm sure there's a million other sites out there. So definitely like post in the Facebook group if you're interested, because I think other people can probably give you other sites. But the first ones I thought of are like Fiverr and Upwork.com to post your opportunity or post your job that you're willing to help other people. As far as you can always network in Facebook groups, like that's a great way to find editing jobs. Blogs are growing. Like, I know we're publishing a daily post every weekday. We have a post going out. Like, that means editing, right? Like, so, and people are blogging a lot more. People are, their written content is so much more. There's so many people also who are doing videos and need someone to transcribe them, or need someone like Ivy on our team is taking, maybe I hope she makes it, I need to have her make a blog post out of this. Like, she'll take some of my Facebook lives and she'll put them into blog posts. And that's awesome, right? Like, that's just creating, it's recycling your content and creating more content with just doing one type of form, right? So I'm doing video form. and then it can be turned in. We'll put this on the podcast. We'll put this as a blog post. I'll put the video on YouTube. So there's just like so many ways turning that into a blog post. Teresa, it was my idea for you. If you like editing or putting together blog posts, like learning as much as you can about blogging and helping other businesses do their blog posts, that would be like, you have no idea how many people would love to hand off their blog post to you. And then also, the other thing too, I mean, we hired a content optimization expert who was an editor, and she edited 1,000 of our old blog posts, because I have had the blog up since 2010. And let me tell you, there was some there still is, we're still redirecting and getting rid of all the old stuff. Like, this is a long process. It's been happening this entire year, but she's an editor, and that's what we hired her for, is to go through those old blog posts, help us with, you might want to learn about SEO. You might want to learn, just about copywriting. So copywriting is like having really great titles that are like, that make people really want to click. So she helped us with that, because I was terrible at that in 2010 and 2011. Guys, my blog posts, they were just terrible. But I started. That's all that matters, is I got started, right? And now having someone else, and this is a great example of what we were just talking about, I wasn't looking for this, right? Like, I wasn't looking for an editor, but then I met Danielle, and I've been in a mastermind group with her for a year, and she's awesome, and she's helped me so much. Like, I knew the potential if we hired her to review those 1,000 blog posts. Like, I knew the possibilities that could come, but it wasn't something that was like I put out a job description for. It was completely networking. So that's why networking is so, so, so important. And then just if you want to work from home, there really are so many opportunities. With entrepreneurship, and I'm not saying you need to be an entrepreneur. I don't think everyone needs to be an entrepreneur. It's not right for everyone to be an entrepreneur. Not everyone has the entrepreneurial personality. And of course, entrepreneurs like me need people to help me grow my mission and my company. So it's not right for everyone, but because entrepreneurship is growing so much right now, you all have a great opportunity to help entrepreneurs like me grow, so you can work on the team of a company, or even of a startup. I mean, there's so much growth potential in working for a new startup as well, and it's like exciting, and there's just a lot of potential. You just have to get that foot in the door and help them. I mean, can you imagine like the first 2 people that started working at Facebook? I mean, they're still with the company today. I just saw a post about it. Someone who'd been with them, for 10 years, but they had to make that first step, right? They had to make that leap. Like, who knew that Facebook, I mean, we're on Facebook Live right now. This is crazy, right? But who knew at that time that Facebook would blow up to become what it is today? So it may be a little risky, but you learn so much from being like the startup world, because you can get your hands in a lot of different pots, and you can learn a lot of different things. But all that to be said, a lot of times you can work from home too, because a lot of startups are now switching to the virtual world, right? Like, you don't need that extra expense of like the office space when you can use Zoom and Facebook Live and like stuff to communicate and get your work done. So people need personal assistants, social media managers, virtual assistants. Companies are becoming more virtual, and our team is all around the world. I mean, that was the first hire I did was Laura from the Philippines, and she's amazing. She's still on our team today, but that just opened my eyes of like, this is like, you can work from home, and other people on your team can work from home. So there's a lot of opportunities if you want to work from home too, but you have to get outside of the normal thinking. I mean, and it depends on you. I mean, not everyone will succeed working at home. Not everyone has that desire to work from home. It's not for everyone. I love it. It works for me. I'm in my home right now. But it's just not for everyone. So, but in the beginning of my career, I mean, I wanted to work in that nice fancy office. I had a view. It was great. I had my own office space, the view. It was like overlooking San Diego, and it was great. It just, that wasn't my long-term plan. I was like, okay, I did this, check the box, had the nice corner office with a view, check, and your values change, priorities change, like that's not important to me anymore. But if we wanted an office space, we could do that as well. You know, you kind of, it all wraps up into creating that ideal career or that ideal business. You can make it whatever you want to make it. Okay, and our last question. So if you guys have any questions, now is the time to post them, because I'm on my last question for the day and I have a little bit more time to answer questions. So if you have any other questions, feel free to post them. Okay. This comes from an anonymous person. I've mentioned wanting, which by the way, if you want to be, I understand job searching can be scary and you don't want your boss or coworkers to find out and all that stuff. So we are in full support. This email came into our email. I think it was probably either it was support@classycareergirl.com or you can email info@classycareergirl.com. And it came into our email, and I don't even know your name, unfortunately, because it went to my assistant. So so she just wrote and said, this is from Anonymous, and she wants to keep it anonymous. So so hopefully you're watching. So she said, I've mentioned wanting a career change to some people in the co-working space and a select few people in positions I think may be a good fit for me. My question is, how loud should I be about wanting to change careers? My husband says to tell no one because it might get back to my bosses. However, I don't like pretending, and networking seems pointless if I can't say I'm eventually looking for a change. And I'm inherently constantly networking with what I'm involved in. Okay, so it is true. If you are employed right now, you do have to be careful because you obviously, you know, you just have to be careful with who you tell that you're looking for a change. But here's how I would change it. What is okay to say is that you're looking for more challenges and more opportunities. So instead of saying like, I'm looking to completely get out of this industry and do something completely different and I hate my job right now, you know, you're not like negative and complaining. You're just saying this isn't all there is, right? Like you want something more and you want to learn more and grow more and more challenge. You should be telling your boss this. So everyone should be telling their boss this. If they want to grow and learn and have more opportunities, you have to constantly tell your manager and your boss that you're ready for more, you want more, and you're growing and you want more challenge and you want more opportunities. Like that's how you grow in your career. So you should be telling your boss this. You can also say, you know, if you're out networking, you can tell people you're learning more about yourself, you're working on your personal development. Most managers should know that you aren't going to be in the same career for your lifetime. So you can always tell people when you're networking. I did this a lot. Telling people that you're exploring, you're learning about other career fields, opportunities out there. I mean, learning is great, right? Like we're not saying we're like changing careers tomorrow. We're just like, we're exploring. We should all be explorers, you know? We're always on that path. In Love Your Career Formula, we have those 3 phases. I'll go over them way more in detail in video 3 that comes out on Tuesday, which is gonna be awesome. And that with the blueprint that comes out, the phase 1 is the explore phase, and that's where you're exploring things. But here's the thing: phase 2 is job searcher, so you find that job. Phase 3 is leader, so you become a leader in that career in that company. But you're always going back to explore to see if there's anything else out there as well, and your values, your motivations, like things could have changed, where you may need to transition into something else, or to grow, or to go to that next level. So it's kind of like this cycle, and there's nothing wrong with making that cycle and that circle like over and over again. So and I agree, you do have to put yourself out there. So if you know that there's more out there for you, you can't stay limited in your current role, and you have to see what else is out there. So you have to tell people as well. And I know it's scary. It's something that I had to do when I did that year of the networking challenge, where I met with 4 people I did know and 4 people I did not know every month through 2011. And every single one, even though I had this full-time job at that time, I had the full-time job, like I would have been in huge trouble if I got fired. Like my boss, could not know, but I was out there still networking and exploring and meeting new people. And it's not bad to be networking. I mean, it's not that doesn't mean you're job searching. And meeting new people, I mean, you have to be open. So I think you should be telling people, you know, that you're learning, you're growing, you're exploring, you're looking for new challenges and new opportunities. And you should go to your boss and you should tell him too, like within the company, is there different paths that you can explore and do informational interviews, even with people in your current company. I know I did that when I was in finance. I started to get the vibe that I wanted to go into more HR and training. And I told my boss, like, is there any, you know, opportunities? He knew I kind of wanted to go in like organizational development. I wanted to kind of look into switching teams within the company. I mean, I never told him I'm going to leave or I'm looking outside the company. But he knew also that I was getting my MBA, and and maybe that's something to do as well, is like starting to get more education, letting your boss know about that, because he knew with what I was doing, and then I was getting my MBA, like by the time I graduated, like I needed something else. I needed a new challenge, a new opportunity. And like I was working so hard, like with my day job and with my MBA program, that by the end of this, I was going to have so many more experiences and skills that with my MBA that he was going to need to make me happy, right? Like something was going to need to happen at my job. And so he knew I was committed, right? Like I worked my butt off for our clients and the team that I was managing. And like I was doing a great job, somehow holding everything together while going to school at night. So he knew I could handle it, but he also knew that I had given him this like desire of what I was interested in and what I was interested in learning more about too. And so he knew, like, he was able to connect me with people within the company that I could get to know. So I could network with people in like the organizational development partner or program. He also let me, which was awesome. Like, I think this is so cool that he let me do this. He let me do a 1-day shadowing day with a woman in HR, which was completely life-changing, because I realized like the direction that I really wanted to head. And I learned so much about hiring, and like everything that I teach in Love Your Career Formula had so much to do about that day of just shadowing a recruiter for the day and seeing how they hired people within our company and interviewed people. And that just like taught me so much that I kept going in that direction. But I just thought that was really cool that he allowed me to have that shadow day. And so you just never know, like if you don't ask, you never know what opportunities might be out there in your current company or in different companies. Like he could have had an introduction to me at a different company, and he ended up leaving when I went on maternity leave. And I was like all nervous to quit my job. Because I quit my job after maternity leave, after 6 weeks or whatever, that's when I called them up and I told them, okay, I'm not coming back. And I was so nervous about it to tell him, my boss, and it ended up, he had just left the firm like 2 weeks earlier. So now he's at a different company. So you never know where like even your boss is going to end up, right? Like now he's at this other company and we've connected and we've like, you know, seen each other at events, but now in just a complete, like now I have my own business. He's, you know, head of like a completely different department in a completely different company, and you just don't know where people are going to end up. So it's always a good idea just to make a really good impression, even in your current career. Okay, I went on and on about answering that question. So what I did realize is that I don't think I told you guys how to sign up for the workshop. All this like talking about the workshop, but if you have not already signed up for the workshop, you can go to www.classycareergirl.com/getunstuck, and that is where you'll get access to video 1. Once you're done with video 1, make sure you watch video 2 and download the Get Unstuck blueprint as well. Next week on Tuesday, we're going to come out with video 3, and that's going to be the career fulfillment blueprint. It's going to walk you through all the steps that you need to take, whatever phase you're in. So if you're in phase 1, the explorer phase, it's going to give you the steps you need to take. If you're in the job searcher phase, you're ready to, you know what your ideal career fit is, and now you're ready to find it. In the explorer phase, you still don't know exactly what you want to be in when you grow up, which is totally fine. in the job searcher phase, then in the blueprint, you're going to see exactly the steps that you need to take. And then the leadership phase. So if you already have a career and a job and you love it, but you just want to get to that next level and you want to get ahead and get promoted, well, then we're going to tell you the exact steps that you need to take in that blueprint as well. So it's going to be an incredible video training. We just put the finishing touches on. Right now, I'm like one video ahead of you guys right now. You can see here's the real behind the scenes. Since this is a brand new workshop, these videos are being done on the fly. A couple days before you see them, they're getting done. So right now, I'm working on video 4. Video 4 will come out next Thursday. And that's that's when we go over the whole Love Your Career formula. And it's a really, really good one. So that's what I'm working on right now, so you guys know behind the scenes. But let me check and see if any questions have come in. It doesn't look like any have come in on Zoom. So let me check the Facebook group here. And these were great questions that come in. I love doing these with you guys. Let's see here. Teresa, I hope you heard Teresa. I answered your question. Jen, hey. Christy, hi. Christy, nice to meet you here. Jennifer is with us. Hi, Jennifer. Christy says, what do you do with your page summary of your skills? I'm thinking you use it as your guide for decisions and social media, but do you show it to anyone, like at an informational interview? So first of all, I would look at those skills and I would find your favorite skills. So we all have like a ton of skills that we can do, but we might not love them. For me, finance is one of them. Like I'm great at it, but I don't love it. So I would take your long list of skills first and figure out, like identify, circle like your favorite skills. You probably have like 2 to 3 maybe like favorite skills, because those are the skills that not only are you really great at, but you really want to focus on because you really enjoy doing them. So that's just internally for you. But once you know what those skills are that are your favorites, I think that's when, I mean, you can do a portfolio. I've walked into interviews before with a portfolio that is like a little binder that demonstrates my skills. So if finance was one of my favorite skills, I could easily show them like a pivot table with all these funky analytic stuffs that I've been able to do. Like what can you show people in like a physical form, a portfolio, or what can you show people on your LinkedIn profile? There used to be a way to upload things on LinkedIn. I'm pretty sure that you can still do that as like a portfolio or video format. I know you can embed videos into YouTube. So maybe that's it. Like, how can you show people what your favorite skills are? Is there a way that you can demonstrate that through written form? Like that's how I was able to do it through my blog. I was able to show people my expertise. When I was job searching years ago, I was trying to find like HR positions and training positions and professor positions. And that's how I got those positions, is through blogging, like showing my expertise in written form, as well as doing videos, like showing my expertise in video form and teaching people on my YouTube channel so people could see that. So, an informational interview, Christy, is more for you to get information about them. So an informational interview, I would be less prepared with like selling yourself. I mean, obviously you want to give a great elevator pitch. You want to take up just like 15, 20 minutes of their time. You want it to be short and sweet. And it's more for you to learn. And it's more for you to show them I'm really prepared. And this is like, I'm really proactive. And it's for you to see if you want that type of career. Like in college, I did an informational interview with a lawyer because I thought I wanted to go to law school. And after I did that informational interview, I realized I don't want to go to law school. I do not want to be a lawyer. His job doesn't sound like any fun. So, so that's really the point of an informational interview. But during a real interview, I think you could definitely demonstrate your skill set in like portfolio. If you brought in some sort of portfolio showing what that skill set was and demonstrating it, that would make you completely stand out. Like we used to hire people, there was one guy who did this and we hired him like practically on the spot because it was so clear he had the skill set. Or if there's some way your resume can point them to like a blog or a video to show them that, you know, that you have those favorite skills. But yes, you definitely use it as your guide for decisions in social media. For sure, you got that. You nailed that one. You use it as it's one part of that whole Get Unstuck process. In Love Your Career Formula, we call it What's My Calling College, to help you figure out what your calling is. So it's one little step. it's one little step to figure out what your favorite skills are, and then they all kind of add into the whole process. This is really funny. Okay, I think this is Jen. Because it came in as Classy Career Girl when Jen on our team is now an admin in our Facebook group. So it came in as Classy Career Girl, but I'm pretty sure it's Jen. She says, all of my clients doubled my work and increased my roles in the first 1 to 3 months. People definitely will make a role for someone they want to work with. So true. If you got to put your best foot forward. I mean, Jen here hasn't even been on the, maybe, are we having 90 days pretty soon coming up here? Your first 90 days are so important. That's why in Love Your Career Formula, phase 3, we have a whole section on your first 90 days. So think this doesn't stop once you get hired. Like, that's a positive, but there's so many more places you can grow with your career and if you make that great impression in those first 90 days. Like, you might be like Jen and be in a completely different position than what you got hired for when you first started. Teresa says, oh no, my internet messed up on me. Yeah, there will be a replay. So if you missed anything, there will be a replay on this Facebook group. I'll also put it on YouTube, and then I've been putting these on the podcast as well, the Classy Career Girl podcast. Okay, now Jen's with us. Hey, Jan. And Magali is with us as well. Hey, Magali. Okay, so let me refresh here and make sure I have any more questions. This was fun. So if any of you guys are on Instagram after this, I am going to be hopping on Instagram and answering questions on Instagram. So thank you everyone for being here. Remember, video 2 is on your homework, your to-do list for this weekend. Go through it, download that 7-step Get Unstuck system, print it out, put it on your wall, do whatever you need to do. That's your guide. And that's really what's going to help you make this transition successfully and not get stuck in a rut again, because that's the whole thing. Like, you can go around in this cycle and keep job searching and finding jobs and then still get stuck in them if you don't actually take this time to go through that system and really figure out that ideal career fit for you. Because all of us have the right career fit for us, and they don't teach us exactly how to find that when we go to high school or college, and we're kind of left on our own. So that's the whole point of everything I do here at Classy Career Girl, is just to really help you go on that journey to find your ideal career fit. And it's not overnight. It takes time, and it takes, that support and accountability. And so that's really why we're here for you guys. So remember, if you haven't signed up, you can go to www.classycareergirl.com/getunstuck. And that is it for today. So I'll try and jump back on here early next week on a Facebook Live. So keep your questions coming. If you have any other questions about the workshop, if anything else comes up about even this topic that we've been talking about today, please let me know. And have a great day, everyone. Have a great weekend. Bye.